Hello again and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and the last mini series that we had of tools for SHTF purposes seemed to do really, really well. There was a lot of people really excited. I got a lot of engagement. I got a lot of really positive feedback from it, and it actually sparked me to do another mini series. I know, right? All right, so this one's going to be the introduction video to it. And what it's going to basically be is going to be entitled It Takes a Village. This is going to be about the roles and responsibilities of basically the people inside of your mag, your tribe, your group, whatever you want to call it. And so, what I want to get into is going to be, well, let's first take a step back. Let's define a mag, a tribe, group, whatever. It's a group of people that live together and they all provide for the good of the group. They are, pretty much equal members. Everybody has some sort of role and responsibility to help one another, provide some sort of value, to the other group members and things like that. And so basically, your mag, your tribe, or everybody, you're building a small community. Now, when it comes to this, there's pros and cons to having a group of people, right? Let's take a peek at some of these pros. So, first pro is going to be their safety in numbers. If you're by yourself and it's SHTF, and even if it's not, if it's peaceful time, you turn a corner and there's five people standing in front of you that want to do you harm. Five versus one, usually five has greater odds of winning that. And so, if you turn that around, if you're a group of five and somebody that is a single person turns the corner and finds your group, you have a better chance of being able to, fend off any sort of unwanted individual or whatnot. And so, just remember there is safety in numbers. And keep in mind, too, a group that unites together has a greater chance of survival than a lone wolf. Moving on to the next pro is going to be many hands make light work. Okay. During an SHTF situation, there's going to be a ton of things to do. And, if you're by yourself, if you think that you're going to lone wolf during a long term SHTF situation, do you want to do everything by yourself, or do you want to have time to, uh, you know, rest a little bit, sit down for 10 minutes and take your boots off and things like that? Do you want help that, you're constantly doing very, very hard work? You're lifting heavy things all the time while constantly being on guard and looking over your shoulder, being on high alert 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all that fun stuff. It's just better to have a group and have it to where you don't have to do everything yourself. And then the third one is going to be the diversity in skills and ideas. Now, don't let the word diversity scare you off into this. What I mean by diversity is just a difference, a vary of different skills and ideas that come to the table when you have various people coming in and joining the group. And so when you have somebody that is in your group, maybe they're new, maybe they've only been a member for a month or a couple of months, you don't know absolutely every skill that that person possesses. Then again, they may not know every skill that you possess. Even if you have your mag, your tribe, or whatever for quite some time, there's probably skills that everybody has that they don't think as being important until the time arises that somebody needs to do something and somebody goes, well, wait, I already know how to do that. So it brings to the table all sorts of just different aspects versus you being by yourself. If some event happens and you need to do said whatever, if you don't possess the skill and the knowledge, then you're stuck. There's nothing you can do. You're not going to just spontaneously out of thin air go, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Versus if there's a group of you, you have a greater chance that somebody's going to be like, well, wait a second, I remember reading this, or I did this as a kid in Boy Scouts or whatever. Plus, it's going to give you a different background of ideas. When you are faced with a situation, you're going to have an idea. When you have more than one person, you're going to have everybody kind of bounce ideas off of each other. If you have it to where you're by yourself, you got a 50-50. You know, either it's a good idea or it's a bad idea. You're going to find out soon enough. If you have more than one person, then you have it to where a pretty good idea, an okay idea, and whatever, they all mix together. You can have a really, really great idea formulate just because of everybody getting together, conversating, comparing things, and talking it out. Now, I know there's a bunch of other pros, but we're going to try and keep the video short because we're going to switch over to cons because it's not all sunshine and happiness, right? So, uh, the big basic con is there's more mouths to feed, there's more people to take care of. You've got a lot more responsibility the more people that you have, especially if you're bringing in people that are elderly or very young children. It's hard for somebody, great grandmother that's pretty much bedridden, or a 2-year old. They're not going to really be providing much to the group. If anything, they're just going to be taking resources. Now, it doesn't mean that they're kicked out of the group, right? uh, but you will have to take that into account, that you are going to be producing and doing different things for somebody that is not able to put into the pot, so to speak. The next con is going to be things like personality differences and leadership issues. Everybody's different, right? We all have a different personality. The way that somebody leads or the way that somebody interacts with a group is all going to be different. And it's just going to be a con and that sort of thing, because without good leadership or without somebody being able to be a mediator, you can have a lot of problems. You can take a really, really good group and it can crash. Think about how many people quit jobs because a new manager comes in and just disrupts everything. So make sure that you understand that there are cons to that. Plus, the last con I want to bring up is people just flat out doing bad things. Now, whether that is a crime of opportunity, whether that is uh, something out of desperation, maybe the group has a little bit hard times, food is a little bit more scarce, so everybody has to ration, and somebody goes, you know what, I'm hungry, I'm going to take a little extra, nobody will know. I mean, that's still, it's theft, right? So it doesn't matter. People are people. People are human. They're going to do bad things. As much as you trust somebody, how many times have you flipped on social media or whatever and saw that somebody's best friend was, sleeping with some other guy's wife or something? People do dumb things. People do crazy things for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. And so, as much as you can trust somebody, you always have to keep it in the back of your head. Uh, it is possible for them to do it, no matter how much you trust somebody. So, next, I want to get into when you are building a group or you're going to join a group or whatever. You're going to be trying to figure out what the size of that group is. One of the things is going to be it's going to depend on how many hats one can wear while still doing the job to the fullest extent. You don't want to stretch people out, and so you want to make sure that the number of roles that you decide that your group is going to have, you have adequate enough people that have enough time to be able to do all those jobs. Now, let's jump into what are some of those roles. And this is what the series is going to be about. There'll be a video for each one of these. So one of them will be about logistics and communication. The next will be about security. Another will be about medical. Next will be food and water production. Another video in this series is going to be about builders, engineers, and blacksmiths. We'll put out a video about teachers and caregivers. And lastly, we're going to do a video all about leadership. Now, a few closing thoughts to this is going to be that if you have a group, you're starting out a group, anything along those lines, use this mini series as part of a way to make an assessment. If you're not part of a group, you're alone right now, you're looking to join a group or start to build a group, you can also use this to assess yourself, see where you would fit in, see how you can make yourself more valuable. Now, I also want to remind you to be realistic when you're doing all this. be realistic about the number of jobs that each person can actually do. It's great to have that person that is an advocate for firearms. They're a really great hunter. They're a really great builder. They're really great at this, that, and everything else. A person can't do 18 different jobs while everybody else just does a little bit. You're putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. So it's important that you can have somebody wear multiple hats, but they also have to have help, and you have to have the understanding that if something was to happen, so say that your person that does hunting is also one of your people that does medical. If there's a really bad medical thing going on, that means your hunter can't go out and get food. Okay. Same thing with, if he was out getting food and he wandered off, got lost, whatever, if something serious happens medical, your doctor's not on site. So make sure you take everything into account. Um, Next, I want to also remind you to have backups to basically all the jobs, or at the very least, the most important jobs, just in case. We just went through and listed some of the examples. And so it's really good to have backups. The ways that you can have backups is to cross train. Cross train as many people as you possibly can to help fill each of the roles. Write it down, have a list, make sure that everybody understands. You need to have structure in your group. Everybody needs to know what their role is and what the responsibility of that role and each of their roles or responsibilities if they have more than one. Make sure too that you communicate with them. Make sure that they are happy with their role as well as they are proficient and comfortable. Just because somebody is good at something doesn't mean that they enjoy it, and that can turn disastrous. Just because somebody enjoys it doesn't mean that they do it well, and that can also be dangerous. So you need to be able to know your people, talk with them, have honest communication, help build them up. Hey, you want to work security, but you're not that good of a shot. We need to put some more range time in if that's an area that you want to get into. Work with them, help them understand, where it is, where you're coming from, all the different things like that. So that way, as they get into it, they don't have a full sense of, oh, this is going to be my job. SHTF happens, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, wait a second, I thought I was security. Well, actually, we made a decision behind your back. You can really create a lot of problems for yourself. So now's the time to get everything all lined up. If you're interested in this, pay attention as the mini series comes out. We're going to talk about each one of those roles more in depth and all the different responsibilities and everything that goes into them. So that's all I've got for you. I'm looking forward to making this mini series. I hope you guys enjoy it as well as much as the last one, because it was a lot of fun to make. And again, it had a bunch of positive feedback and whatnot about it. So we'll see how this one goes. I've got a bunch of things in the works. I do want to say that if you made it to this part in the video, guess what? You rock. And also, I waited until the very end because everybody hates me sharing personal things at the beginning of the video. They're like, just get on with it, right? I did, as of today, um, I submitted my writing to go ahead and publish my first book. I got the notification back that it can take up to 72 hours. Once the all clear comes out, then it'll be published in both a digital copy, or you can buy a physical paperback. I tried to make them as, kind of cheap as I can while still making, 50 cents or something like that per copy. But as I get word, I will let you guys know. I'll put a link or whatever down there if you would like to check it out. So with that, that's all I've got. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you have a blessed day. Stay tuned because there's more information to come, as well as more into this series. And always remember, please remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.